Hello, and welcome to Unity Church on the Mountain from my home. The title of the talk today will be Imagination and Power. But first, let's begin by affirming our opening statement. There is only one presence and one power in my life and the universe, God. Let's take a deep breath together and release. Breathing in and release. From this more relaxed state, let us affirm together the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. Leave us not in temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. The title of the talk is Imagination and Power. And what did we just get finished saying as we affirm the Lord's Prayer together? That very last clause, all power, is coming from one source. Spirit, from God. Our power comes directly from the source of all power. Through us and back into the world. I've had an opportunity this past week that's unique to this time. Some of you already know that I have been in contact with a person who has tested positive for the COVID. So I am under quarantine. How does that affect my consciousness? I've had an opportunity to observe what this is like. To observe those moments where there has been these doubts, even tinges of anxiety that enter in anytime I feel a scratchy throat, a little bit of congestion or a sneeze. There's that moment of doubt. These moments give me opportunity to practice these spiritual tools that I've been teaching about. And this week's tools, which is 2 of the aspects of the 12 powers, come into play here. Imagination. Imagination is our faculty of mind, that capability that is part of our inherent being to form thought, to take mindless, unformed idea stuff and form it into a vision. Our imagination is that ability to visualize our intention. Power is our faculty of mind that transforms mental energy into the substance of this world. It brings things from spirit into material. Imagination is centered in our body, directly between our eyes. The associated disciple is Bartholomew. Power is centered in our throat, at the base of our tongue. You can't see it because of my beard. Power is symbolized in the New Testament by the disciple Philip. When we have the silence, that silent and still place where we go, our power is pure. The silence is pure power. We are in that place of spirit. We are at one with that presence, and we are experiencing that. As we engage our power of imagination, we begin to have thought. Thought is formed power. And the Word is power in action. We affirm the Lord's Prayer aloud to bring those positive statements into being, to move ourselves in that direction. We often think of power as being some sort of influence that we have over someone else. And this is a total missing of the point of power. This is a worldly view of power. Something that comes from ego mind. When we move from head to heart, when we lift our vibration, power is our ability to shift our own consciousness, to change our direction and move back to spirit, back to oneness, and then to see that in everyone we meet. You see, I'd like to emphasize that right now. I'm talking about these 12 powers, and it's a way of modeling what is inherent in all of us, that image of Source, that image of God we were created with before we were born in this body. But it's only a model. It's a way of pointing us in the right direction towards spirit. It's something we can use in our spiritual toolbox to help us grow towards that experience of oneness and bringing that experience more and more into our daily lives. If it works for you, work with it. But at the heart of it all is seeing the Christ, that perfect potential that is within all of us, in ourselves, and in everyone that we meet, without exception. The 12 powers are a framework. The 12 powers are a framework that we can use to help us to see with our mind, with our illumined mind, how these principles are at work within us. And they are at work within us whether we're aware of it or not. But you see, we have other tools in our spiritual toolbox. And we have to take the tools that are right for us in that time and put them to use in our walk, in our daily lives, in our moment-to-moment experience of Spirit. Each moment being aware of our consciousness. Allowing the thoughts and even using these thoughts in our daily lives, but being aware that those thoughts are not the truth of who we are. Whether it's a useful thought that helps us to survive in this world, or whether it's a thought that drags us down. None of these thoughts are the truth of who we are. We can elevate ourselves by renewing our thoughts. You see, that's the power of imagination. The power of our imagination is to transform our thoughts, to shape them. One of the things we use to help us in our imagination is a vision board. Most of us have probably been at workshops where we have cut out images from a magazine and pasted them into a collage on a board to remind us of our vision, so that we have this external to us stimulus to change our thought. It's a helping tool. I once told someone that I didn't have much stock in vision boards. But that's just me. That doesn't take away from their usefulness. You see, my vision is so inner and so spiritual. It doesn't matter what goes on around me. So I've not been able to go through the magazines and find the things to put on the vision board collage to remind me of that. Anything that I put there is going to be something external and is not going to help me in pointing towards that inner space. There are some abstract things that maybe would work. But I choose different sorts of alarm clocks to remind me to be aware. I especially like to watch my own consciousness. And the welcoming practice is a huge help to me. It's helpful in dealing with shadow. It's helpful in increasing my awareness. And it's helpful as I explore these 12 powers, because each of the 12 powers is centered in the body, whether it's the imagination between the eyes or the power that's at our throat, at the base of our tongue. You see, our body is as much a consciousness as what we think about our mind being, a brain. The brain is just part of the body. We know that the heart has its own nerve center. There is a brain, literally, on the back of the heart. Another one at the solar plexus. And all of these centers that Charles Fillmore was able to explore as he was activating his own 12 faculties are centers in our body that are centers of consciousness. And the welcoming prayer, what's the first step of the welcoming prayer? Is to look and see what is going on in our body at that moment. So the welcoming prayer can be something in our spiritual toolbox that we can use to explore not only our consciousness, expanding our awareness, exploring our shadow, but also discovering the 12 powers within us. As we go through our life, day to day, we can take spirit breaks. We can practice the welcoming prayer. And I say the welcoming prayer, I really mean the welcoming practice, but it really does become a prayer. Prayer being, I just sit and look at God, and God sits and looks at me. So I want to go over those steps very quickly before I sing you a song. We notice somehow our awareness keys us in that we have moved off center. Quite often it is something in the body that is that trigger, but it can be just a state, a feeling. The emotions have changed. And when we notice that, we begin the welcoming practice. We look and check in with our body. Where is this difference manifesting itself in my body? Is there contraction somewhere? Then I sit with that. I can give it a funny name so that it doesn't have the same control over me. And I just experience it. What does it feel like? Where is it in my body? What is it doing to my consciousness? The idea is play. It is one of not taking myself too seriously. It's one of allowing, and now we're moving to the last stage of the welcoming practice, which is to release. Just to hand it over to Spirit. And notice that those contracted places have opened up, have relaxed. And then just continuing with what it is that we're doing. We can take this state of consciousness that we brought after that release right into whatever it is we're doing. You see, we can keep a calm, still center even as we do the daily tasks of our life. We can use those thoughts and know that we are still that calm center right in the middle of whatever it is that is ours to do. I think it's so beautiful. So I have a song to share. It's a song that I wrote. If you've been listening to me, you have heard it before. And if you've been listening to me and have heard some of the way that these songs have turned out, I apologize. There was a setting on this new computer that I have that was changing my sound. Instead of recording what the microphone was picking up, it was altering that sound. And I apologize for not listening back. I just knew that the performance, the talk was what I wanted when I finished. It was Spirit coming through me. And so I didn't listen back as I should have. And the computer didn't capture what I intended. I had that fixed, I do believe. So take this opportunity to just release, relax, and allow. The title of the song is Protanoia. Protanoia is a Coptic word, and it translates as first thought. First thought. In the beginning was the Word. First thought. In Genesis we read, "Let there be light." Protanoia is a feminine word, so notice, especially in the last verse, it's one of the ways of expressing the divine in feminine form, and remembering that we all have within us both the divine masculine and the divine feminine, regardless of our outer gender. The song is Protanoia. Thought that dwells in the light, movement that dwells in the all, invisible one within thee. Oh, Protanoia, Protanoia, Protanoia. I am a voice speaking softly. I exist from the first. I dwell within the silence that surrounds every one of them. Protanoia, Protanoia. And it is a hidden voice that dwells within me, within thee, within me, within thee. Silence she is, called by three names. Although she dwells alone since she's perfect. Protanoia, Protanoia, Protanoia. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love. The power of God protects us. I am the power. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. Thank you so much.